Hey guys, redoing the wording video. This is obviously part 2 of the wording video, which is for intermediate players. This is covering the 2.5k to 3.5k bracket. I guess you can move it up to about 3.8k essentially. Right. So in the previous video, we said that in the for beginners, people aren't actually actively looking at the map. So having gank vision is pretty damn useless. And to a great degree, in this, the same thing applies. So for the laning stage, having extra wards, having those cool, TP in, smoke TP in, and place a bloody ward way up here. These wards, they're not going to be useful. Right? You're wasting your time and money. Have boards over at the runes, because when are people actually actively looking on the mini map and actively looking around? They're looking around at every 2 minutes for sure, because the mid laner wants the runes, the off laners they're looking for this area, things like that. So you definitely want to have at least one rune cover if you can spare the wards. Now, even at this in this bracket, you can have both the runes covered. I think that would be really really fantastic. The only issue, you're coming to the point where people are actually actively dewarding, at least in the higher 3k bracket, right? So you want to be smart with your wards. You can't just go and place a bloody ward like, or very common ward spots like this is a common ward spot. Any place that has this eye, expect it to be dewarded. Potentially, right? There's not a high chance, but expect it to be dewarded. So, as I said in the last video, whether you're radiant or dire, if you want to give vision of the rune, just the rune, this new feature, exact what the ward is going to be giving vision of. That's so fantastic. Like having this ward over here, it's gonna give you vision of the rune and the offlaner moving in. Okay, so yeah, like this kind of funky wards. This one probably is not so great, but like this one over here, I mean this one is okay as well. Gives vision of the rune. This one is actually really really good because it'll catch any ganks coming in from this. You want to be um,
Ain't seen this many
actively
trees in a
thinking about
long time.
about the warding, like having this ward over here. It's as radiant for the dire to deward this ward. It's unlikely, but as dire is definitely going to deward this ward. So as dire, you can think about maybe placing a ward over here. That there's a lower chance of this ward getting dewarded by the radiant if you are dire, or even this one, because whoever is going to come and deward, they're going to deward this. Like this is Radiant side of the map, so Radiant is definitely gonna look to deward this if they've got wards. So don't want to get into too much detail about the exact positioning of the wards. I want to get you when and roughly where, what area you want to cover. So beginning of the game, no point wording anything other than these two. These two. This is roughly when you start to zone the offlaner and things like that. So if you are going to have a solo offlaner, right? If there is going to be a solo offlaner and you can guarantee that there's a solo offlaner, then yes, having a ward over here to get vision on the offlaner, and a similar situation here, having a ward over here to get the vision of the offlaner is obviously pretty damn good. But let's be honest, in the 3K, in the upper 2K and the lower 3K bracket, it's still dual lanes, and you're gonna have one support who can't really zone too effectively, and your carry is gonna be retarded anyway. So having a ward in lane, not really that amazing to be honest. Keeping track of the offlaner, you're probably not gonna be able to
The price is
zone the
right.
offlaner out. If you're super confident that you can, if you've got a tri lane and whatnot, go for this ward. Otherwise, stick to these two rune wards. Now coming mid game, you want to definitely have wards around the area that you are fighting and taking towers, like objectives. Objective based warding is actually crucial. That's what I spoke about in my last video as well, in my last warding video, which is now outdated. But if you're taking this tower, having a ward over here is okay, is decent, but having a ward here is actually even better because to be very the enemy team, if you're taking this tower, right, you have pretty solid vision of anybody TPing to this tower, obviously, and also anybody coming in. Um, when you're taking tier ones, nobody's really gonna have blink daggers, right? If they do, it's just going to be one person. So there's not going to be much follow up to it. So it's not too crucial. Nobody's going to sneak. Having a ward over here when you're taking this particular tower not only gives you decent vision after the tower has been taken, but it also provides your team some vision from anybody trying to rotate around. Now, having vision after the tower is taken is actually quite important because you don't want to just use the ward for like the 30 seconds of its lifespan. You want to use it for the entire life duration. So having a ward, if you place a ward over here, it's after the tower is gone, its ward is useless. All right, so when you're pushing this tower, once again, this ward is obviously ideal if you're radiant. This ward is ideally gives you vision of everything. But if this is dewarded, or if there's a chance that it's dewarded, let's say there's a really good support player in the other team, then you're in a bit of a pickle. And what you want to do is you want to try and smoke and place a ward deep down in there. You want to place a ward in there, and you want to try to have some sort of hero vision. Like, I literally despise tier twos. Every single tier two. It is, I can't tell you how many times taking down tier twos has just gone horribly, and mostly it's because of wards. Because essentially, you need two wards to cover everything on tier twos, and usually in tier twos, it's uh, people are getting weird power spikes, and it's just all over the place, and it's just horrible. I hate taking tier twos. Anyway, so if you can provide your team with the best vision, then your tier twos are still going to be as dangerous, but enemies tier twos are suddenly safer. Now, on this side, the mid tier two, when we're talking about the mid tier two, one ward that I really, really like is just sneaking up over here and placing this ward. Again, what you want to do is you want to give your team best vision around the tower that they're taking. And like, I mean, you get the general gist. I don't need to make a 50-minute long video again. You get the general idea about where the wards need to go, rough idea about where the wards need to go, right? Like when you're taking this tower, where are the ways that people can approach? People can come down this lane, people can come down this lane, and people can come down this lane. So ideally, the best way to ward for this tower is have a ward over here, a ward over here, and a ward over here. That would be ludicrous, right? That would just be horrible to do. The three wards just to take one tower. So what you want to do is you want to cover at least one side. Normally you're not going to cover this side because that's where you're expecting people to come from. So you normally want to cover one side, which for me it would be this side. You cover this side, you position yourself, right? You position yourself on this side because you've already covered this side, and then you leave this side empty. There's no vision on this side. So if people are gonna come from here, that you're gonna see them really, really early. You're positioned way over here. That means anybody comes in here, you will see them immediately, and then you can run away or do whatever you want. If somebody's coming in from this side, you've covered this. Instead of having wards, you covered this by your positioning. And then obviously, if somebody's coming in this side, that's the only place that you kind of have to sort of, prepare for or risk for it. But that's also like the most expected area. So people are going to be. Also, it's really difficult to react from this area. So, um, similar situation over here. Have a ward on top of this for the best vision around here. If this ward gets dewarded, just don't push this tower. Just leave. Honestly, there's no point fighting at towers where you don't. I guess I'll cover really quickly a few spots for uh, if you're dire. I mean, honestly, is it really important? Is it important? Not really. I don't think so. I mean, you get the general idea. That's what the just have objective based warding. Try not to fight in places as a team at least. Try not to fight in places you don't have where you don't have vision. A group as a team. Okay. Another thing that I actually just remembered is if you have a carry who wants to farm jungle, and just securing your own jungle is actually pretty crucial. Now, when it comes to securing your jungle, right? So what are the ways into your jungle? Obviously, there's this one, and obviously it's the mid from here, right? So most likely, people are not going to invade your jungle from mid from here, right? So this one, and this side are the three most common places people are going to invade your jungle. And when it comes to these three sides, very honestly, one of the best wards is actually much deeper in, because you place this ward over here, it act actively is an aggressive ward and protects your jungle, because this ward effectively covers anybody coming in from this side, because to go from here they have to either come from here or come from here. So essentially you're basically covering your jungle from this side. The only thing that is left is jungle from this side. So to protect the jungle from this side, you can obviously either place a ward over here, or if that one is going to get dewarded, you can place a ward over here, because as I said, all you want is to cover this particular um, what is this called, opening, right? So these two wards combined, and yeah, these two wards combined protect your own entire jungle, so that your anti mage can farm there as much as he wants. Now, this is another thing that I want to get into when we get into advanced side. That you wanna, when you place wards, you wanna try to get wards in combination. Right? Don't just blindly just put down wards. Like these two wards are a combination ward, because they actually effectively provide you security for essentially this whole area. That is actually half of the map, that it gives you security, your team security. Even though it only gives you effective vision over on these two areas, but it protects that huge area if people are looking at the mini map. So these are the sort of things that you want to start getting into as an intermediate player. Now, when we talk about high ground, and because I don't want towers to be hitting me for no reason at all, I spoke about this in my last video as well in detail. What you do want to do is you want to make sure that when you come to pushing high ground, now in this patch, pushing high ground is actually horrible. It is literally so bad. So the best way to go about it is to make goddamn sure that you place a ward over here. Now, of course, this is the most common. If you just come up to this area and try to place a ward, people are gonna see. People are gonna see that you placed a ward. So having a smoke when you're pushing high ground, having a smoke is actually a pretty big deal. You smoke in, you can just walk up and you place a ward. Other thing is, if you have a glimmer cape, you glimmer cape in, you walk up over here, you place a ward, and then you immediately move over here. Most likely, people won't suspect it, but I mean, people won't know it, but they might suspect it. Another thing that you can do to make this really, really quick is do what I'm just gonna do. I'm gonna show you. Use shift keys, right? You press this button, you press shift, you place a ward, and you move back. It's a smooth movement. Obviously, I don't even have boots, so it looks really, really slow. But you want to shift queue this operation. So just gonna give another quick demonstration. You make sure you right click as close to the tower, sorry, as close to this wall as possible. So there you go. So I click literally right next to this wall. You kind of want to know what your rough range is. So this is, as you can see, this is the range. So it's a big range, to be honest. So essentially, I could have actually placed this ward even from here. I didn't really actually. Wow, that's actually amazing. And I can get even closer to the wall, and I can place a ward pretty. Anyway, so use these techniques. 15 minutes already into this video. I think I've covered pretty much everything for the intermediate stage, and now we're gonna go into the advanced stage in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, guys.